high opportunity for an overtake is at the bus stop itself coming out of Blanchimont. If you get a nice bit of exit speed coming through Blanchimont, get in the trail of the slipstream, hard braking into the bus stop before you then take the start-finish line.
Well, of course, it is time for the race. 5th race here in the Esports World Cup Teams Championship. Of course, we are here on the first day. It is a 3-day competition. It is Redline sitting first and second in this race. Luke Bennett and Sebastian J. I'm sure there'll be a little bit of communication between the pair of those. And, of course, Andre Kunzmann, the team manager at the moment for the Redline camp. I know they've got a lot of fans sat there watching on their own streams. We're about to get the race underway. I thought Kevin Ellis Jr. might have jumped that one, but as we head our way down to the first corner, it's Redline in control. McCormack looks to the inside as we get onto the brakes heading into the first corner. The big send to the outside coming in, though. I believe from Brzezinski, who was trying to make it sticky. Actually, it was Isaac Price who's gone a little bit too wide. Contact there a bit further down the order, and it's dropped Dominic Blyer down to 12th.
Yeah, it certainly has. He'll need that MVP award now to try and drag himself back to the top. Of course, he'll have to put the work in here at Spa as they come over Eau Rouge and Radion, and now ascend through the Kemmel Straight. Luke Bennett still leads. Job in behind. Dara McCormack looking to try and provide the twist in the tail against the two red lines. Sat in front. The red line wall now prominent as now Job takes the lead. Through comes McCormack up the inside at Lakecom. Wheel to wheel with Luke Bennett, who tries to at least retain the status quo of a red line in 1 and 2. But McCormack wrestling him off now as they come out of Malmedy in towards Brussels at the heavy braking zone, and they'll remain side by side, Lewis McGlade.
Yeah, fantastic race between the pair of them. McCormack was really forcing the issue there. He knew that Redline would try and take control with making this a 1-2, and McCormack said absolutely not. Do you know what? I'm going to chuck myself in this. I'm not letting you sit behind Luke Bennett. I'm not letting you control this race. I'm pushing myself right into the mix. McCormack then threw in a second spot. Fantastic stuff from a great battle between himself and Bennett. But Sebastian Job, the driver who has had 4 consecutive victories yesterday, he could not get it done for the Drivers' Championship, though. He wants to refine himself. He struggled a little bit earlier on in the day, even to 3rd position. He didn't quite look like the same driver. Well, he's looking like the same driver as what we saw yesterday now.
Yeah, well, he's looking far better, I would say, obviously, after a good night's sleep and a readjustment. Now sees him back at the very top, but McCormack is going to make sure that he remembers how it feels the sting of defeat anyway, as they now make their way into the final sector of this opening lap. It's still Job up at the front within 5/10. Dara McCormack, Luke Bennett licking his wound slightly after the Williams displaced him from the front too. Kevin Ellis Jr. managing to move his way up to 4th. A lot of carnage up at the top, and I will say Robbie Stapleford 5th place and is ahead of ART's Johan Harth.
Look at the line there coming in from Luke Bennett. You can see the wheel action as he was onto the brakes, turning it one way, then the other. A little bit of contact there between Isaac Price and Dom Blyer, who's already made contact earlier on in this race. They battle over 11th position. More contact coming down into La Source, and I've got to say they're fighting pretty hard for the wooden spoon at the moment. It's not looking so great for either of them. Dom Blyer there in 11th spot, and yeah, Williams still needs some decent points. They're looking to get through into the top 4, so they don't have to worry about this. They might have to rely on McCormack taking a victory. Big slide there coming in from Price.
Yeah, we're also seeing Jakub Brzezinski now out on screen further back then. Of course, Isaac Price still chasing after Dominic Blyer. Gloveless here, Jakub Brzezinski. Of course, we see some sim racers, a lot of them these days, using the sim racing gloves. As now Sebastian Job loses the lead here to Dara McCormack coming out of the Lacombe chicane, and now coming through Malmedy. It might be that Job decides to tag him back, heading down into Brussels. Not this time. He's going to stay in behind, and now that's 2 red line cars that McCormack's managed to get rid of.
Yeah, and to be fair, I will say he'll probably actually, as in McCormack, will be pretty desperate for Kevin Ellis Jr. to make the same kind of move through, because let's be honest, I know McCormack and Ellis Jr. get on quite well. What did you see?
I just saw Sebastian Job a little untidy coming through the next left-hander at No Name. Of course, it's had many different changes of name in the past, Jackie X being the most recent name for it, but indeed Sebastian Job just getting on the curb a little bit too much. The car looked to be somewhat unbalanced. Now that's increased that gap to 0.5 of a second.
Yeah, for a corner with no name, it's got 3 names. It's got No Name, which is a name, let's be honest. It's got
several names.
It's got Hicks, and it's got speakers as well. Yeah, it's crazy. But that's fine, whatever. We'll roll with it. History and stuff at Spa. Sebastian Job, you're actually right there. Dropped back down into 2nd position. And I will say McCormack, I think, is trying to attack the circuit to build that gap ever so slightly, as you'll have Sebastian Job into the slipstream, dragging along his teammate. He won't have any pressure really from behind. Luke Bennett will sit there because, again, we are talking Teams Championship at the moment. It is this. Yesterday they were focusing focusing on their own points and what their own scores are, and how they're getting themselves into the five drivers finalist mode, into contention for the championship. Here today, it is about working together as a team. Second and third will pretty much almost guarantee the fact that Redline will be going through.
Yeah. Also, huge opportunity here for ART as we take a look at a replay of the move between Dara McCormack and Sebastian Job, heading up through towards Laycom. Ran the outside there from McCormack, stuck to his line. He threaded the needle, really, on the outside. There wasn't a lot of room there, but somehow kept it on the tarmac, avoided the curb, avoided the grass, and around the outside he went on the BMW M4 and managed to successfully get the lead away from Job. But now he's going to be challenged once more because Job is hot on his heels.
Yeah, you've got to give credit to both on that one, and maybe we'll have to do it once again as we head through the camel curve and begin that real climb. Look at the straight line speed from that BMW there. Sebastian Jobs had an incredible run. Couple of bumps as well coming in from Luke Bennett, and that is the second time we've seen Dara McCormack be done by the Red Line Express. Straight through it goes. Job and Bennett up to first and second.
Happened at Daytona, didn't it? Not too long ago. And now this time, they're 1 and 2 once more. Job and Bennett. McCormack down in third. Further back, Kevin Ellis Jr. coming into the fight. I was alluding to the fact that this is a huge race for ART to lift themselves out of the bottom two in the elimination zone right now. If they score big here, they've got both cars in fourth and fifth. This could push them right, well and truly higher and put themselves in the, should we say, the second chance packet for tomorrow.
Exactly, that's the goal, is they need to get into the second chance packet. It doesn't matter, to clarify, the second chance is those teams that will finish between 5th and 10th here. They'll go into races tomorrow. It will slightly change as to how that one works. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it tomorrow. And once they get into that race, all things are zeroed again. It doesn't matter how bad you've had the day, how good you've had today. Everything is zero. They're going into it with no points. How Sunday's going to work is a little bit different as well. Again, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But for tomorrow, if you're in that last race, it doesn't matter if you're 5th, 11th, 9th, 10th rather. It doesn't matter. You're working your way through. Ooh. There's Dara McCormack, I think, getting slowed down here a little bit by Luke Bennett. He's struggling maybe a little bit of speed, or maybe he's trying to slow them down intentionally, dropping him back into the clutches of Kevin Ellis Jr.
Well, it was quite the concertina effect because Kevin Ellis Jr. very nearly went into the back of Dara McCormack. We're riding aboard with McCormack right now. We just briefly saw him there on the right-hand side of our screen, but now as we ride on board with him coming out of the bus stop, they'll then take the next lap, and it'll be lap 4 of 7 as they cross the line in towards the source. They will go. Sebastian Job still at the head of the field, joined by teammate Luke Bennett. 1-2 for Red Line. Position they would like to maintain, but McCormack will be that thorn in their side. But I would say the big Kevin Ellis Jr. is more the threatening as they ascend uphill, heading through Eau Rouge and Radion. The Mercedes getting closer to the sister Mercedes AMG GT3, and Kevin Ellis Jr. will harbour no prejudices to whether it's a Mercedes or a BMW, or will he? He's waiting in behind right now.
I told you, these two get along. If you look around the paddock, there's a few drivers and stuff that get along quite well and that talk to each other quite a bit. Every time that I see, two drivers from opposite teams talking, it's generally between McCormack and Kevin Ellis Jr. Now, whilst they are separate teams, do remember they represent the same brand. That's not just the fact that they're in the same car. That's cool. The fact that they are both backed officially by Mercedes. It's Mercedes AMG Team Williams Esports. It's Mercedes AMG Team Apex Racing Team, or whatever it is, because they say team twice, whatever. ART. They are backed by Mercedes. So there is a little bit of almost brand allegiance here.
Brand camaraderie.
I'm sure Kevin Ellis Jr. wants to get through. He wants to get on with it because he wants to get into that last chance race. But also there's that whole thing of timing it right and making sure that it's not a too risky move.
Well, you can't afford for it to be detrimental to lose then an opportunity at perhaps even taking the top 2 places. Redline is still there. Just under 5/10 away is Luke Bennett away from Sebastian Job. But then, of course, you've got 8.5 tenths between McCormack and Job. It's even less there. 3 tenths in between Bennett and McCormack right now as they fly out of Campus and Stavelo through Corbeil-Paul Frere once more, and then a trip through Blanchimont. Still the 2 Red Line runners up at the top in the BMW M4s. Johan Harth coming into this, and he's got the fastest lap of the race.
Was it not Dara McCormack and Kevin Ellis Jr. though that made contact at turn 1 in the final at Road Atlanta in the online season? I'm pretty sure it was, actually.
I think you could be right.
But I'd have to go back and check all the stats.
Check the archives.
Can't bother that. We've got a serious race going on. There's a look at what they're all fighting for, though. The trophy in the background, which they all want to get ready to put their key into. Of course, that and the totem as well, as they get ready to take their prize. Sebastian Job, though, is looking to lead, is looking to win his 5th race in the Esports World Cup, and of course, adding to yet another one. I believe it will be his 28th victory in ESL R1.
Well, Sebastian Job did go on a 4-race streak yesterday, number 5. Unfortunately, would not seal the deal on the driver's crown. Went to his teammate Kevin Siggy, of course, as we all know, and has yet to taste success or a victory here so far today. As we now look further back, a tie between the two ARTs, Lewis?
Yeah, I was going to wonder if Johan Hart was going to go for anything. Surely he won't. Surely he's going to bump draft his teammate and just allow, or at least allow Kevin Ellis Jr. to hang on to 4th place. I thought there might have been a move there because Hart was a little bit too quick over the top of Radion. It did seem as though Kevin Ellis Jr. had a really poor run. Still got 3 laps left to go, and Dara McCormack's not out of this. As much as I think he'll want to time his move for the race lead, I think if he wants to take victory here, he must get ahead of Luke Bennett.
Well, one driver who is exposed right now is Kaiki Oliveira, because he is 3.8 off the top and about 1.5 tenths away from Johan Hart in 5th. Further back, Ulas Oljildirim aiming to get close to the back of Oliveira as well. Alike around 5 to 6 tenths separate those two as well. It's coming down even more so, and the Turk might yet challenge. We're going to take a look at a replay. Now, this is Kaiki Oliveira. Look at it, I believe it's either him or Robbie Stapleford coming up the hill, and indeed 2 face cars, one of them being Ulas Oljildirim, no doubt, because he has got his teammate in behind of Robbie Stapleford, getting very close to each other. Phase VBS competition here at this point. So Enzo Benito part of this. Onto the curb goes as Yildirim, feeds the opportunity to Oliveira down in towards Brussels corner. Fabulous opportunistic move, but a lot of contact in between.
That looked like some of the touring car racing I used to do against Kevin Siggy, I'm not going to lie. There was a fair bit of contact. Obviously, Kevin Siggy, I was clean. I didn't pick up too many penalties. Kevin Siggy was always the one that made all the dirty moves. But no, of course, great racing between the lot of them. I will say, I think if things finish as they stand, at least when it comes to the MVP award, I'm pretty sure Kaiki Oliveira and Dominic Bly will both have the same amount of positions gained. So they'll both be joint at the moment on the top of that one. Oliveira probably not going to gain any more positions because Johan Hart is 2 seconds further down the road. 2 laps left to go here at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. So it's just under 14 kilometres of racing as we begin our run towards Les Combes now, of course, as we rise up and over Eau Rouge and Radion.
Yeah, lap 6 of 7, penultimate lap of the race. Job out in front. Bennett still hovering in P2. Does not need to move past his teammate, but will need to defend against Dara McCormack, who utilises the curve at Kemmel to open up the Mercedes Beast against the BMW M4 now, as they look to hit the heights coming in through towards Les Combes. Side by side, they will stay a nose in front there for McCormack as they now cruise through the next left, through the right at Malmedy. Once again, 2nd place for Dara McCormack. The luck of the Irish in his favour once again as they deep dive now in towards Brussels Bend, but he needs to close at 1.2 now to get the win of Sebastian Job.
And I don't think it's happening. I think Sebastian Job is going to become our 5th different winner today, of course, and it's just a little bit too much of a tall order for him. Redline will become the first team to win 2 races, though. That is the important bit, of course, for this is only their 3rd race, let's be honest, because of how the format works, so it's kind of a moot point. But Sebastian Job is looking for top honours here. But yeah, running in good stead. Dara McCormack, I'd say maybe he'll be happy with 2nd place, but I actually don't think he will. To be fair, 2nd and 8th. Williams are scoring okay right now. And if I'm the Apex Racing team for the 5th, I'm only looking at getting into that 6th to 10th battle, and getting in, or 5th to 10th battle rather, and getting into the tomorrow's action. I'm not. You're way too far back to try and get in the top 4.
Well, you'd expect Williams in the top 4 at the very least.
Really
I mean, you know, at the end of the day, we've got G2 coming into this race. They're up there, BS Plus competition. Both those teams currently sat towards the tail of the field. If you look at G2, Brzezinski and Price currently propping up the rest of the order. Further up, Oliveira and Stapleford in the midfield. As now we see McCormack once again being forced to defend as Bennett tries it round the outside. This opens the door for Kevin Ellis Jr., who has a look round the outside in his own right. Will have no qualms in trying to take a place away from Luke Bennett. Might try it up Eau Rouge.
You've got At least into Lecom and of course round the exit of Malmedy down towards Rivage. Way too large of a lead coming in from Sebastian Job, who holds the field by 1.6 seconds. It is going to be a Sebastian Job victory in this one unless he makes an absolute corker of a mistake. Slipstream being given from McCormack back to Kevin Ellis Jr. as he tries to make it side by side through Rouge and Radion, but Ellis Jr. probably going to lift out throttle, drops in behind Luke Bennett, who's much quicker over the top here. This could be another move coming in. McCormack looks backwards. He could get Freight Train here and could end up finishing in 4th spot. Here comes Luke Bennett to the outside as we head to the Kemmel Straight. Kevin Ellis Jr. makes it 3-1 as he gets to the inside. Big move from the Apex Racing Team man, who's desperate for points. And Kevin Ellis Jr. could be going from 4th to 2nd, but a big move to the outside comes in from Luke Bennett and makes it a Team Redline 1-2.
That is fabulous there, indeed, from Luke Bennett to defend the place in P2. Looked like that Kevin Ellis Jr. had every chance. Has a look around the outside coming through Brussels. Dara McCormack has lost out twice over Mercedes in their efforts to curb the Team Redline charge, have found themselves unable to do so, and now it's back to the Redline status quo at the very start.
I mean, let's be honest, a 1-2 here for Team Redline effectively confirms them as being in the top 4. I don't know what the points really are, but it's so unlikely they'll drop outside of it now, because they've got one more race left to go, fair enough, but they're looking so strong. No one's shocked by the fact that they're ending up in that spot. It's been fantastic from them.
It has, as they now make their way through the final 2 sectors. Sebastian Job has cleared away by 2.5 seconds. Kevin Ellis Jr. still waiting in the wings. It's not all said and done yet for Luke Bennett. He needs to ensure that he doesn't get challenged by Kevin Ellis Jr. or Dara McCormack in this final sector. They got Corbet Porfret coming up next, but Sebastian Job is not going to be troubled by any such worries. He's home and hosed, Lewis McGlade, and this will be his first win of the team's championship.
Yes, indeed. It's his 80th race in ESL R1, and what a way to celebrate that. It'll feel like a long time between victories, courtesy of the issues towards the end of yesterday. 4th, 2nd, 5th, and 3rd was how he ended proceedings yesterday. He started out with a podium today and continues his winning ways as a 5th victory in the Esports World Cup for Sebastian Job as he takes his 28th victory in ESL R1. A big drag race across the line, though, as Kevin Ellis Jr. was trying to pull clear of Luke Bennett, but it is going to be a Team Redline 1-2.
His first team's championship win in the Esports World Cup phase. Of course, Luke Bennett already achieved it at